The Air Force's tiny fleet of 20 Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit stealth bombers is the only long-range penetrating strike asset in the service's arsenal. No other aircraft in the Air Force inventory has the range to take off from the continental United States and strike at targets on the other side of the globe inside highly contested airspace. The B-2 has an unrefueled range of around 6,000 nautical miles, but that can be extended to around 10,000 with aerial refueling. The U.S. Air Force is by far the most capable air arm on the planet. In addition to proper training and rigorous doctrine, the Air Force needs modern weapons to keep ahead of potential competitors. Over the past decade, America's lead in the air has started to erode as Russia has slowly been recovering from the collapse of the Soviet Union and China has begun to reemerge as a superpower. Nonetheless, these following 5 systems are the backbone of the U.S. Air Force and should continue to hold the advantage for some time to come if ever the unthinkable occurred. Though strategic nuclear deterrence has become less prominent since the end of the Cold War, the mission remains the single most important one for the Air Force. The backbone of America's nuclear deterrence remains the 1960s vintage LGM-30G Minuteman III. Some 450 of these missiles form the land-based component of the so-called nuclear triad. Over the years, the long-serving missile has been modified and upgraded with better guidance systems and new rocket motors. Though originally designed to be fitted with 3 multiple independent re-entry vehicles each carrying a nuclear warhead, the current version of the missile carries only one 300-kiloton weapon. The United States plans to continue to upgrade that missile, but eventually will have to develop a new ICBM to replace the Minuteman. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. The readiness of the nuclear missile force has come into question repeatedly over the past several years. A number of officers have been caught cheating in tests and a number of senior officers have been dismissed as a result. All of that has cast a shadow over the entire force. The Air Force's tiny fleet of 20 Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit stealth bombers is the only long-range penetrating strike asset in the service's arsenal. No other aircraft in the Air Force inventory has the range to take off from the continental United States and strike at targets on the other side of the globe inside highly contested airspace. The B-2 has an unrefueled range of around 6,000 nautical miles, but that can be extended to around 10,000 with aerial refueling. Nor does any other warplane in the Air Force inventory have the ability to penetrate the kinds of dense air defenses against which the B-2 was designed to operate. The B-2 was designed to fly deep into the heart of the Soviet Union to deliver a payload of thermonuclear bombs in the event of a Third World War. While the B-2 has never had occasion to fly that doomsday mission, those same capabilities allow the bomber to strike with near impunity against almost any target around the globe. Further, while fighters like the F-22 or F-35 are very stealthy against high-frequency fire control radars, a large flying-wing aircraft like the B-2 is also difficult to track using low-frequency radars operating in the UHF and VHF bands.